All right, we are live.
Okay, so should I begin now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm John Bordell. Also with us is Christopher Anderson, Justin Ventura, Marissa Bland, and Brett Calvert, and we will be presenting to you today on why Youngstown State University should improve student parking. Just a few summary notes before we continue. Our recommendation is that Youngstown State University should invest in a new parking structure on campus to provide adequate parking for students and to partner with the city of Youngstown to offer shuttles from campus to downtown. We estimated that the construction cost of a new parking deck would be $10,055,000 and cost approximately $250,000 per year for staffing and maintenance. The shuttle through the partnership with the city is estimated to cost $100,000 per year. Financing can be arranged at 0% on a bridge loan from the city, where $5,055,000 will be on credit and $5 million will be secured through TIF/grant funds.
Okay, so now we're going to look at the background of the report. So for the purposes of this recommendation, we are going to compare and contrast alternatives that are going to be able to provide YSU with aid in their decision-making process. So the information gathered for this recommendation came from multiple sources. So one would be the student testimonials, one from outside literature, and then two came from university employees, such as John Hayden, who is Director of Facilities, and Daniel O'Connell, who is Director of Parking Services. So now we're going to look at the current state. So the figure to the right provides the geographical map for the current parking at YSU. So there are currently only two parking decks. So one is the M30 that's located on Wick Avenue, and one is M60 deck, which is located on the corner of 5th and Arlington. Both of those are noted in the red boxes to the figure on the right. So there's also a campus shuttle, so that's the red and white loop. So that is active from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. There's also short-term meter parking that is available on the streets surrounding campus. And there are also various other surface-level parking lots that are designated for either faculty staff only, mixed with both faculty staff and students, resident parking, or visitor parking. And now we're going to look at the current state. So currently, YSU lacks parking lot availability and public transportation to help navigate students through YSU. YSU is a commuter school with many of their students driving to campus every day. So around 80% take some type of transportation to YSU each class day. Many of those travel on average about 20 minutes to commute. Mariah Jones, who's a sophomore at YSU, stated that she has to leave home early to get to campus to make sure to get a close parking space, or else she has to walk an additional 20 minutes to make it to class. So students are obviously aware of the limited parking availability, and it may have a negative impact on the students' decisions to either attend YSU or to remain receiving education here. So now I'm going to pass it off to Justin, who's really going to just discuss the cost analysis of the report.
Adding additional parking to the YSU campus will require extensive upfront costs. High-ticket items include both a new parking deck and lot. We recommend the purchase of a vacant property surrounding the campus, as it may be acquired at relatively low cost. The new deck and lot will require additional staff and yearly maintenance, adding permanent reoccurring costs to the project. These costs may be offset by placement of new meters and additional fees. In addition to on-campus parking, we are recommending a partnership with the City of Youngstown for a shared shuttle service from the downtown area. The university will be responsible for covering the agreed-upon rate for the yearly service. The proposed project includes a new deck totaling $10 million, a lot totaling $20,000, and meters coming in at $5,000. Land for the new deck is estimated to cost $10,000, and the lot is estimated at $20,000. The new deck will require maintenance, which will include cleaning, inspection, painting, and repair at a cost of $200,000 per year. The proposed partnership with the City of Youngstown for a shared shuttle service from the downtown area has been negotiated at approximately $100,000 per year. Student employees must be hired to staff the decks and monitor the meters. Yearly staffing cost is estimated at $48,600 per year, not counting special events. Total construction costs for the project come to approximately $10,055,000. Recurring costs come in at $348,600 per year, which may vary depending on maintenance needs. The new deck will require two student employees covering both the back and front entrances to the deck from Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The lot will require only one student covering a single entrance during that same time frame. Meter monitors will be assigned Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. as that is the high traffic time for the meters. All students within the Parking Services Department earn a wage of $9 per hour. As stated previously, the 150 hours per year at $9 per hour total $48,600 per year. A breakdown of the funds can be viewed in the included pie chart. And I'd like to pass it off to Chris for the negative financial implications.
Thanks, Justin. So as we mentioned earlier in the report, that according to the university finance reports, the university is currently at a dead-even status. Now, this makes this a great time to do this project because it puts the university in a good position to take on long-term debt as long as they don't continue to finance projects in this manner, extraneously, I should add. This also is going to make the debt very easy to manage and pay down according to the plan that we're going to lay out here. But again, we did feel that it was important to note that taking on this project would add some long-term capital costs. So as it was mentioned, you can see that the total cost of the project is $10,055,000. The university is not, it's not a good idea for the university to take on that amount of debt in terms of long-term capital. So we've come up with a pretty creative package here. So by securing a bridge loan from the city of Youngstown with just a simple irrevocable line or letter of credit from whatever finance institution the university uses, the university can borrow $5,055,000 for a 5-year period at 0% interest, which is great. And the city would probably be willing to do a project like this because it's going to add so much to the city. The second funding stream that we recommend are grants, obviously, because they're not, you're not required to pay those back. So we think that the city of Youngstown should work closely with the county and their grants office to try and secure somewhere in the ballpark of $3 million in grants, which would mean that the final funding stream would be would be much easier to secure. The final funding stream is slightly a little more complicated. It's using TIF funds, which are tax incremental funds, which is essentially the Port Authority is going to assess what they think the revenue stream is for a period of up to 26 years. So with this being a heftier project, we do suggest going with the 26-year TIF period. And they're going to basically advance the project $2 million, and then they slightly increase the property taxes and the sales taxes for the surrounding structures and homes over that period, what they think they will increase anyways. So it's a nominal amount for the people around it. TIF funds are phenomenal to use for a project like this. So as you can see, even though it is a hefty project, it only does require the university to take on $5,055,000 in total capital outlays. So finally, we do think that it's very important to consider the negative financial implications of we do think that it's very important to consider the operating expenses when we discuss the negative financial implications of this project. Now, we're not gonna go into all of the methodologies of how we got there. For complete methodology, you can consult Appendix A in your reports. These are on a per annual basis. So the total cost of the loan itself on a per annual basis is approximately $84,000. You can see the total is actually $84,249.96. The liability insurance necessary for the parking deck is approximately $36,000 over the period. As Justin mentioned, the maintenance and property fees for this project is $200,000, and that's based off of the existing costs to maintain the existing decks. Adding the new employees will add approximately $51,000 in expenses, with approximately $3,000 needed in payroll taxes to cover the university's 6.4% that's required to go into the FICA accounts. And finally, this isn't necessarily an expense, but more a diversion of funds from the existing general account, so we do have to consider it an expense. We recommend that a contingency fund be established in case of any catastrophic failures with the projects or anything like that, to a tune of 10% of the parking fees, which accounts for an additional $110,000 a year, bringing our total annual operating expenses to $484,835.46. So finally, I am going to pass it off to Brett, who's going to recap our recommendations to you, and who is going to, bring home why we feel that this will so greatly increase the life of the experience of students around campus. So, Brett.
Thanks, Chris. So after much research and studies, we have decided to come to two recommendations with our report. The first recommendation would be a new on-campus parking structure. Because of the lack of adequate parking spaces that are currently close to proximity to campus, we feel a new parking structure would be really utilized by the students. The upfront costs associated with this solution may be substantial at first, but with parking fees and other revenue coming in, this would be a sustaining income stream to meet the obligations. Secondly, we suggest that the lawmakers of Youngstown and the decision makers of Youngstown State University collaborate and come together and find other solutions that may be viable for parking, including a shuttle service that would utilize downtown parking spaces that currently are not being used. And this could be used for students. The shuttle service would provide a safe and reliable service that would be they'll be safe, and the students would be able to park downtown, use downtown, and then shuttle to campus. So in conclusion, we hope that you take our recommendation to heart, and that you would find that our recommendations are what students need the most at this university, and we hope that you come to a good conclusion. Thank you.